We humans could go extinct in the next few hundred years if we don't stop the destruction of coral reef ecosystems. The threat is real. Coral reefs are dying because of us. Coral reefs are the largest and most diverse underwater structures, home to 25 to 35% of Earth's marine species. That's a third of all marine species. These coral reefs don't even take up much space, hardly 1% of the Earth's surface. They contribute $375 billion annually through fisheries, tourism, and other businesses. Coral reefs help our environment by cleansing the water and air. They purify our water through calcification and filtration like this. Most importantly, they support hundreds of thousands of species. So if the reefs die, the only home for those species will be wiped out, and then those species will go extinct. This will cause a global imbalance in the ecosystems and will eventually cause human extinction. So if these reefs didn't exist, we would lose all the benefits they give, and soon if they die, so will we. Coral reefs are actually made up of a community of polyps that fuse together to create these beautiful reefs we see today. Polyps are a lot like worms with limestone exoskeletons. They absorb nutrients from the ocean and slowly excrete it from their skin to create their limestone exoskeleton. The formation of these reefs takes centuries, and we're tearing them apart in years. We've already destroyed 20% of our reefs in a decade. Coral reefs have very delicate conditions for survival, and it is a very chemistry-related process. They require light and clear water in abundance because they have an algae known as zooxanthellae within each polyp that uses the light and water to create vital ingredients for survival, like oxygen, sugars, and fats. They also require 400 to 450 parts per million of calcium, strontium, iodine, and magnesium, because the polyp, through calcification, breaks it down for surrounding organisms to use and for its own nutritional values. Without it, they die. They require 0% of ammonia because it is very toxic to fish and other species, including plants. It increases the acidity in the water and degrades the chemically sensitive limestone exoskeleton of the polyps, which kills the polyps and therefore killing the reefs. They require 0% of nitrite because it is poisonous to marine animals. It takes a lot of proteins to be neutralized, which causes the species to suffer from loss of skeletal muscle, oxidation of hemoglobin and methemoglobin, which reduces the amount of oxygen in the red blood cells, immediately killing the animals. They require below 10 parts per million of nitrate, because the increase in nitrate slows the growth of coral reefs. But it makes the algae within the coral reefs grow to the point where the skeletal protein of the polyp decreases, causing them to die. The algae also separates from the coral reefs, rising to the top of the surface, causing immediate death. They require below 0.3 parts per million of phosphate because too much phosphate stops the flow of nutrients in the polyp's body, reducing tissue regeneration and killing the coral. The pH level must be between 8.2 to 8.4. 1 to 6.9 is acidic, 7 is neutral, 7.1 to 14 is a base. If the water is too acidic, then it will react with the limestone skeleton of the individual polyps and will degrade it, therefore killing it and therefore killing the entire coral reef. The alkalinity of the water must be between 32 to 45 mg per liter, and the temperature must be between 80 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Most importantly, the salinity levels must be between 32 to 40 psu. As you can see, there are several requirements for survival for the coral reef ecosystems. Many aren't being met, resulting in their death. This can be because of destructive fishing practices, like dynamite fishing and cyanide fishing. But this is also because of physical pollution. Physical pollution like this brings foreign nutrients that the coral reefs don't know how to break down, and this kills them. Marine animals also get confused and mistake bottle caps and plastic bags for food. When they eat it, they start to choke and die slow deaths. Chemical pollution increases the acidity in the water and brings nutrients that polyps and coral reefs can't break down. strong, dangerous chemicals and nutrients like dioxin, mercury, and arsenic that are powerful enough to cause genetic mutations. Climate change is also a factor, ocean acidification to be more precise. The release of carbon dioxide from industries and automobiles are absorbed by oceans. When the carbon dioxide and the water mix, it forms carbonic acid, making our oceans much more acidic and unlivable. Global warming also plays a part because as global temperatures rise, not only do the temperatures of coral reef ecosystems rise as well, but the freshwater glaciers melt. When the fresh water mixes with the salty water, the salinity levels changes, and soon it will not meet the survival requirements for the coral reefs, resulting in their death. But we can stop this, and we can change this. We can start using ecological organic fertilizers, sprays, sunscreen, makeup, and soaps. Doing this reduces the chances of foreign man-made chemicals to be introduced to coral reefs. This will ensure that only organic chemicals are introduced to coral reefs, and those organic chemicals are chemicals that the coral reefs know how to break down. If we dispose of our trash properly, we can reduce physical pollution in the ocean. This stops the introduction of foreign chemicals and saves marine animals from choking on bottle caps and plastic bags. We can protest to put in place better fishing laws. If we do this, then we can avoid destructive fishing practices like dynamite fishing that blows up entire ecosystems at once. We can avoid cyanide fishing that poisons ecosystems, and we will be able to save the reefs. And most importantly, if we reduce our carbon footprint, we will be able to conserve water and electricity. This reduces our dependence on fossil fuel power plants and reduces the chemicals like carbon dioxide being emitted, and we will be able to save the reefs and its ecosystems. We can avoid the carbon dioxide being released and also reduce global warming and the effects of ocean acidification. If we act together, we will be able to save the reefs. We will be able to stop the destruction and save our future generations. Everybody counts and every action matters. Act along with the movement, save the reefs, and we can make one of the largest impacts possible. The link to our website and infographic is in the description below. Feel free to comment and let's go save our reefs.